The farms of rural America produce around 39% of the world's corn every year, but not all of it ends up on dinner tables. Instead of feeding the hungry, almost half of the US corn supply goes to making ethanol in order to power American cars. As RT's Christine Frizar reports, this has many asking, which is more important, food or fuel?
It is a process that comes with a price tag. The American way, not just from farm to food, but from farm to fuel.
And this is where it all starts, where the seeds are planted and the corn grows. It is the most simple part of a process that has become anything but simple. The production and use of ethanol, once largely considered an environmental one, has become very political, being blamed for everything from the power of the state of Iowa to world hunger.
15% right now of the food increases in this country that you've seen in the last year are directly associated with this policy.
That policy, a subsidy paid by the U.S. government to encourage the production and use of corn ethanol. It lasted 33 years and cost more than $20 billion. Oklahoma Senator Tom Coburn led the charge to do away with the subsidy and won. But the government mandate requiring oil companies to use ethanol is still in place. So just about anywhere you go, 10% of what you put into your car is ethanol, even if your car is a race car.
From America's cornfields to America's racetracks, it's a brand new race day.
NASCAR's partnership with ethanol, a sign that the pressure on the corn supply will continue.
40% of last year's corn crop went to ethanol.
That leaves the other 60% to go toward food for people and animals. And with the price per bushel more than doubling in the last 5 years, it's no wonder food prices are going up.
When demand goes up for corn for ethanol, farmers plant more corn to produce that ethanol, but then they can't plant as much of certain other crops.
Research scholar Tim Searchinger says that leads to the shortage and increased prices of other crops. And it's not just this country. In other countries where people rely on cornmeal as one of the only meals for their families, the price hike has been devastating. Ethanol farmers and plant workers argue that the claims are exaggerated, since leftovers are actually used to make high-protein animal feed.
Everything else from the fiber, from the protein, is in the fat, the corn oil is left over. That is left over and made into animal feed.
Still, it doesn't change the fact that 1/6 of the world's corn supply is burned in American cars. That is enough corn to feed 350 million people for an entire year, raising the question of fairness in the increasing competition between fuel and food. In Iowa, Christine Frizar, RT.
For 30 years, eFoods Global has been perfecting the process by which we make our food reserves. We start by using only the finest sun-ripened and fresh produce grown and harvested following the Good Agricultural Practices guidelines. Not only are our ingredients GAP certified, but we carefully test them for chemical and microbial contaminants like Salmonella and E. coli before the approved ingredients are blended into our exclusive recipes following strict quality control standards established and audited by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. These ingredients contain no trans fats, no hydrogenated oils, and no MSG. At eFoods Global, we do not freeze dry our food because the freeze drying process removes moisture and infuses chemicals into the food to prolong the shelf life. All of our ingredients are dehydrated only using low heat, and no chemical preservatives are ever added. Our dehydration process naturally preserves the food so that upwards of 92% of the nutritional value remains intact. These quality ingredients are then packaged in moisture-resistant, light-resistant, proprietary assurance packaging that is flushed with carbon dioxide to prevent oxidation and guarantee longer shelf life and quality before sealing the package. Finally, we date stamp the outside of the package the day we prepare the food reserves, so you know you're getting fresh food reserves. eFoods Global Reserves, when properly stored, maintain their flavor and quality for up to 25 years. Now, I know what you're thinking. These can't possibly be the reserves. But these delicious meals are exactly what you get when you prepare your eFoods Global meals. And none of these meals require more than a pot of boiling water, the contents of a package, and 10 to 20 minutes. Pretty soon, you are going to select some of these delicious meals to try for yourself for free. That's a great opportunity. Let's talk about some other opportunities eFoods Global has to offer you.